Yo. Oh gosh, I'm about to lose my voice. Hello, y'all. Introduction. Welcome to another vlog. My bad for not saying anything, but I just found out. Y'all, I just got the most amazing email. So apparently, welcome to another vlog. I should have done an introduction. Welcome to another vlog. My bad for not saying anything. But I just found out that Kodansha is now on Hoopla, which is a great thing. It is an amazing thing that Kodansha is now on Hoopla. Of course, naturally, I do feel as though it's not going to be Kodansha's most popular titles. That's not going to be a thing, because they still have to find a way to make money. But I do think that, like, if you are interested in some of the older titles, Attack on Titan, Happiness, Fire Force, Quintessential, what is it? Something quintuplets. I forget the name of that series, but that's on there. And there's a couple of other ones, a handful of other ones that are on. Princess Jellyfish is on there, if I'm not mistaken. Your Lie in April is on there. I just went and took a very, very brief look. So I don't have a full, clear-cut picture of what is on there because I haven't had the opportunity to explore every single thing. But if you are looking for another way to access some manga, Kodansha has made its way to Hoopla, which is good news. But hello, welcome to another comic, manga, graphic novel, manga, vlog, whatever I call it. I don't know what I'm doing here. Listen, I do need to make it through my TBR this week, but priority right now is finishing Bitterroot. So I just arrived at work. I'm actually a little behind schedule this morning, but I just arrived at work. And so I'm hoping that maybe during my lunch break, I could read a little bit of Bitterroot and just go ahead and knock it out, because I need to progress with my Black Queen TBR. I really want to finish my Black Queen TBR this week. And because, here we are, Bitterroot. And today I should have a video going up about some comics and graphic novels that would work for Black Queen. And I kind of want to read some of those, even though they don't necessarily fit within the framework of my entire Black Queen TBR and what I'm doing. I do feel like I want to read one or two of those, and I mean, they could count as a free space, something that just has the vibes of Black Queen, and Ruby's Crew Park is the place to do it. But anyway, introduction. Hello, great to see everyone. I will be back soon-ish, but I need to go ahead and go into work. Bye. Hey, oh gosh, I'm about to lose my voice. Hello, y'all. I literally I've said one thing in this entire vlog, and that was about Kodansha coming to Hoopla, and I realized, like, oh my gosh, I haven't talked at all in this vlog whatsoever, and that's absolutely absurd. But there's a lot of b-roll footage, which is always great. So I know I showed some b-roll footage of me reading what is it called? Apothecary Diaries Volume 3. I still have not finished it. I did start it, but I haven't finished it. I did, however, end up finishing another book off of my 5x5x5, and that was The Wicked and Divine. Apparently, I've read this book 4 times, which I did not know that I have read it 4 times. I could have sworn that I've only read The Wicked and the Divine. I thought this was my 3rd go-round. I've read Volume 4 4 times at this point, and that's a bit absurd. But if you did not know anything about The Wicked and Divine, it is a very interesting look at mythology, but it captures mythology from like around the globe. So we're looking at several different gods and goddesses from different backgrounds, and they inhabit the bodies of random individuals that do live in the UK. And we're following this from the perspective of a main character by the name of Laura. I believe her name is Laura, because I almost wanted to call her Lauren, but I'm pretty sure that her name is Laura. So it's also kind of fantasy-esque. It follows these gods and goddesses that come every 90 years, right? But what's interesting is that they only live for 2 years, and it's almost kind of like a reincarnation process, because they are the same gods and goddesses, but they're inhabiting the bodies of humans, present day humans. And so it's this big, I think, kind of commentary on like how much humans provide adorations to whatever gods and goddesses they worship. And the gods and goddesses of this specific, you know, comic are big on adoration. So Laura ends up meeting the reincarnated version of Lucifer, who goes by Lucy for short. And so when Laura meets her, it's at a concert for another goddess who is a Shinto, a Japanese Shinto god, if I'm not mistaken. And people are just amazed, and so Laura goes to this event that she's hosting, and she passes out, and that's where she meets Lucy. And Lucy kind of gets into some trouble where she gets accused of killing someone, which I think she really did kill this person. But when she's in court, the judge is like, okay, well, you know, you're basically in trial because you killed this person. And Lucy's like, well, can you prove that I killed them? Because there's no evidence. And you're saying that I'm cosplaying as a god or goddess. And so if you said that I killed this person, then you are in fact stating that I am a god. And Lucy was basically like, that's a heck of a precedent to start. And so Lucy kind of like pretend, because the first person that she did kill, you snap your fingers and it kind of causes the person to explode or sets them like aflame. And so Lucy pretends to snap her fingers, and the judge's head explodes while he's on the stand. And so Laura is meeting with all of the deities, and is trying to figure out, like, someone amongst you set Lucy up, and I want to know who did it. And so we are getting this very interesting look at these different deities and their backgrounds and how they all work together, and that they really don't consider mere mortals to be much of anything. I think that reading this first volume, now that I have read it 4 times or 5 times, it's 4 times, I think it's 4 times. Now that I've read it so much, I can understand why reading this first volume, it makes for a very disjointed story, which is why I always tell people that's a good way to look at, like, serialized comics often do leave you feeling disjointed, because it's not intended for you to get the full story they're serialized. You get the full story as you make it through different arcs. And so reading this, I can understand why you would feel that the story is disjointed, although the work is absolutely stunning. I always show, and I had not realized that, like, how much I had really annotated this, which I have never really annotated a comic before, but in this one I did, because I was trying to get a better grasp on who the deities were, and like religion wise and cultural wise, where did they come from. So you have some amazing artwork that looks like that, okay? It's absolutely beautiful, so you can't help but to enjoy the artwork. And I think a lot of people dive originally into this series because of the artwork, but when they read the story they find that it feels a little disjointed to them. But that's why I think it's one of those things that you continue. I did give this first volume 4 stars. Every time I read it, it does stay at 4 stars for me. The ending in this is interesting and made me want to continue with volume 2, but once again, we have responsibilities. I have responsibilities, and for once in my life I'm going to stick to my responsibilities. It is Saturday night. We went to Pride today. It is LGBT History Month, and so we went to a Pride event, and I drank a Red Bull, and I'm about to make a cookie. Make coffee and eat a cookie, and so I'm probably about to be caffeinated out the wazoo. But I am feeling a little tired, but I do want to pick up like 2 more things before I call it for the night, because I am trying to work through all of my stuff for Black Halloween and not and I haven't been really reading a lot of comics and graphic novels, which it is. I also slow down. October has been a very, very slow reading month for me, although this is the one month that I seem to be sticking to my TBR, which is weird. I don't know. So I do want to finish Bitterroot. That is on the agenda to finish. Believe it or not, I do have that on the agenda to finish Bitterroot, because I'm not that far from finishing. I also, however, wanted to start Joker. Now, I technically have already read this. This is a reread for me, but I do need to make it through volumes 1, 2, and 3, because there is a spin-off to this that's not by Tynion, but I do want to finish up Tynion's run of Joker. I have read this, like I said, it is a reread. I did not know. I rarely ever get hardcover comics, so I never get to see like what the hardcover is like underneath. I like it. I like the purple. I like that Joker here, and then we get Joker here, and then we have Punchline. So this is actually Punchline, which is ironic because I also have Punchline. So I do want to finish Punchline as well, which is a tall order for me to want to read 2 comics and then also finish the Omni Bitterroot, but we shall see what's going to happen. But I do know that I do plan to finish Joker, which I feel like I've talked about Joker enough that I really don't have to explain. But if anyone's new here, you may not know what Joker is. So this takes place after this Joker War. So this takes place after this, and thank you, Ray, for providing this for me. This was a birthday present from Ray, and I really, really appreciate it because I've been looking forward to that. This is actually a Commissioner Gordon story. It does not technically take place from like the perspective of Joker, but it is a Joker is so he has such a presence in it that it feels like a Joker story, which is very intentional on Tynion's part, and I really, really did enjoy this when I started reading it. But it's a Commissioner Gordon book where he has pretty much lost everything after Joker War. Like everything. Whole family. And he's gets the opportunity to hunt down Joker because something happens that is reminiscent of what Joker would have done during Joker War, but it actually may not be Joker, but he's given the opportunity to kill Joker, and of course he's going to take it up on the opportunity. So I'm excited once again to dive back into this because there are some tidbits of information that I haven't forgotten, and I do own Joker Volume 2. So that makes me happy that if I finish and I immediately want Joker Volume 2, it's there. That bad boy's there. And then we have Punchline, which is also deals a lot with Joker War. This is a character that was created by James Tynion, and this is post her prison release, I believe. Yes. So this is post her prison release, and she's returned to the streets of Gotham, and is attempting to build her royal flush gang and become the queen of Gotham. Now, she is Joker's ex-lover, and so there's that. But this was better than what I thought it was going to be. Tini Howard did the thing on this, and I read like the first 2 issues of this and really enjoyed it, but I'm ready to just go ahead and knock it out. And these are not very long, y'all. I don't want anybody to think like, oh my goodness, they're so long. A lot of the back is variant covers and a lot of information from the writers, but I don't think these are more than like 150 pages each, if that. I think, really honestly, I think Joker is actually a little slimmer than Punchline, which is not surprising, but I'm gonna dive into both of these, hopefully finish up Bitterroot. I have a video that I am editing for my patrons that is an early release video that is gonna go up on my main channel on Thursday. I think it'll go up on Thursday. I'm trying to think about plans, expectations for this channel this upcoming week. I know this vlog will go up on Monday. I think if I finish Bitterroot, I do want to talk a little bit about it, possibly on Wednesday or Friday, and then I also need to do a library haul. Like, what do I currently have checked out? I haven't done one of those in a long time, and I have a lot checked out. Which we're not going to talk about right now, but it's fine. It's okay. It is fine. I actually do want to start my vlog for my read of Scott Snyder's Batman. I've been meaning to do that since I started this channel a year ago, and I still haven't gotten the opportunity to do it, but I think I may slowly start collecting the footage for that so I can start doing a comparison of the 3 that have done Batman. But we'll see what happens. But let me get to reading, because, you know, eventually I'm gonna want to tap out. But we'll see what happens. y'all, so I wanted to go ahead and wrap this vlog up, even though I am very close to finishing Bitterroot and technically could have sat down and finished it before I close this vlog out, but I literally am, one, exhausted, two, my head has been killing me all day. Like, I literally, after I get finished filming this, I really just want to go take a bath and lay down and go to sleep, because the way that my head has been killing me is quite ridiculous at this point. So I did want to say, just an update. I know I talked about The Wicked and the Divine, so I did end up finishing that. But last night, I did end up finishing The Joker, Volume 1, and I'm going to give it 4 stars. This is good stuff. This is really, really good stuff. This is a very, I think, interesting look at the concept of good versus evil and nature versus nurture. There's a lot of environmental impact that the city of Gotham has had on its community members, and I'm going to mention that again a little bit in my look at Punchline, which I have some very disappointing news about Punchline, but we'll get there. This is good. Gordon is dealing with a lot, a whole lot, and I think that he is trying to reckon with his need for revenge and what is best for the people of Gotham, and following the advice of Batman. And nothing is what Gordon anticipated, because remember when I talked about this earlier, there was a thing that happened at Arkham Asylum where 500 patients were killed, and it was very reminiscent of Joker, but it was not Joker. And so basically there is this exchange, which I don't want to spoil too much of it, but there is this exchange between Gordon and Joker where Joker's like, you know me, you know how I move, I know how you move. Do you think I really did this? And there's a reason why someone is setting me up, because he was basically like, what I did during Joker War broke Gotham in a way that it's going to take years for Gotham to be able to rebuild itself, to get back to the point where it was at. I completely decimated any type of, I guess, structure that Gotham had. And so Joker at this point knows that somebody is irritated by him, and he basically says that there's a clear distinction in Gotham between the law and the rules. And so most of those individuals that are your masked villains and your masked heroes don't follow the law, but they follow the rules of the street. And I think basically that's what Tiny was trying to get at. There's street rules that they all abide by. It's not whether it's legal or not, but it is a code. It's a street code that they abide by, and Joker does not follow the code. And so he must have done something during Joker War that it was enough to piss someone off that they were willing to set him up. That way everyone would essentially go after him, because you have these pockets of villains in Gotham that had family or close friends that died in Arkham Asylum. And so now you see, like, it's a lot. Now you see everybody's pretty much pissed off. And there was, I wish I could talk about this more in depth, because I really like that Tynion brought in, because my first awareness of a specific group came from Snyder and his run on Batman, and that group was brought up again in this, and they have a very interesting relationship to Batman. It's just a lot of interesting things going on. I think that Tynion does some very interesting commentary on the state of Gotham as a community and how dark and twisted it is, which I always like, well, now, I don't want to say always, I tell people now, because I really wasn't much into the Batman community per se, right? I was always into, you know, Wonder Woman. I even tapped a little bit into Superman, and if it involved Batman, it was usually me kind of like reading Justice League. I really like reading about like Aquaman, but I've never really tapped into Batman and Gotham the way I have like in the past couple of years, I've really enjoyed getting to know Batman as a character and getting to know everyone in Gotham in the past couple of years. But what's interesting is that the same way I look at X-Men kind of being its own entity for Marvel, I feel like Gotham is its own entity for DC. There's so many players in Gotham, and there's so much structurally that happens in Gotham. It often feels like these characters have no relation to anybody else in DC, which is how it can feel reading X-Men sometimes, that they have no relationship to anybody in the Marvel universe, which is not true, but it's so complicated, and I think that we see a little bit of that complication here dealing with Joker. This is a wordy comic. I think that a lot of people don't enjoy that. I wouldn't necessarily enjoy that, but I know that Tynion does not overwrite, and I don't want to say overwrite without intention, but he's not using his words for waste. He's not just writing to write. I think that he's very intentional in how he scripts his comics, and so the plethora of text that does exist in Joker, I don't feel like is unwarranted, and I know that that's a huge criticism. I know the huge criticism, of course, is that this is a Commissioner Gordon book. It is not told from the perspective of Joker, but when you are dealing with Gordon as a character, you realize Joker broke him. And I mean, completely broke him and his family, and he hasn't really healed from that. And he didn't really understand that before he stepped into the position as commissioner of Gotham City. He didn't understand it. I like that there was a small part of this where we got a flashback of how his obsession with Joker, how Joker has like woven into everything about him, and this was prior to Joker War. The same way that Joker is obsessed with Batman is the same way that Gordon is obsessed with Joker. It's very interconnected, very complicated in a lot of ways. Gordon was willing to throw away everything, whether that was relationships with his kids, with his wife. He made a huge mistake on the force and put people in danger because he just was that obsessed with Joker, and Joker knew that. And part of me feels like because Joker knew that Gordon was obsessed with him, he played that to his advantage, and Gordon, he set Gordon up for failure. I'm interested to see where this is going to go. There was a very interesting interaction towards the end of this. Bane's daughter is in this. I believe it's Bane's daughter, which presents a very interesting piece of the puzzle as well. Like I said, glad I have Joker 2 sitting up there, volume 2. So I will be diving into that soon. We'll see. The next thing that I have here, because it's the next thing that's sitting up here, is a wonderful gift from Tia. I will be talking about this again in my other vlog that goes on my main channel. Thank you, Tia, because I've wanted this so bad. And I just couldn't make it happen right now. And Tia, you must have heard me on a live show talk about this, and she gifted this to me, and it means a lot to me, so thank you so much, like a whole lot. Tia got me a copy of the Bitterroot Omni. I don't even have the words to express how grateful I am for this, y'all. I have wanted this for forever. It is everything. It is everything. It is, I almost, like, I was reading out of it, and I think I'm gonna finish, because I literally only have 30 pages of this left. When I read my 30 pages of this, I'm not picking this up anymore. Like, we're not opening it, we're not doing anything with it. Like, it is going on the shelf, it is staying on the shelf, and that is it. That's what's gonna happen. Because I just refuse to keep opening it and closing it, because I don't want anything to happen to the binding, no nothing. But thank you, Tia, so much. You greatly appreciate it. She also got me this big thing of tea, which I am currently drinking. I haven't gotten a replenishment of tea in a long time, so that is also very much so appreciated with all of these wonderful flavors. But yes, I am 30 pages out from finishing Bitterroot. I probably will finish it and I probably will talk about it in my Black Halloween vlog before I get the chance to really talk about it here. But I just wanted you to know that I am almost finished, and I know I've been talking about finishing Bitterroot for the past couple weeks, but as you can see, and I can't hold this up anymore, this book is so heavy. It's thick. It's over 500 pages, y'all. It's huge. So that's why it has taken me so long to read this, but 30 pages out, we're almost done, baby. We're almost done. And this is my, I think this is my third time reading volume 1 and volume 2. I think it's my third time reading volume 1 and volume 2, and my second time reading volume 3. So this is not my first time around the rodeo, but as I've said before, I think rereading it, I always see something that I didn't see before, which I love. So the next thing that I started and slowly have been making my way through, I'm trying to see where I'm at in here, because did I mark where I was at? Absolutely not, because I actually didn't make it that far in. Okay, so I only read that much right here, just that little bit right there of Punchline. Y'all are probably like, Ashley, you said it was so good. Okay, issue 1 of this is good. All right, issue 1 of Gotham Game is good. I thought I had read issue 2, but I had not read issue 2. I had only read issue 1 of this. What I did not know, and what's going to irritate me so much, and is such a, I'm low-key pissed at Tini Howard for doing this, because this is why I can't adequately convince people to jump into superhero comics, because people already feel like it's overwhelming, it's complicated, there's not a good starting point. This is not going to make sense unless you're reading Tini Howard's Catwoman, which I don't know why you would do that, because there's no guarantee that a person who picks this up, like I haven't read Tini Howard's Catwoman, and so if I haven't read, let me see, if I haven't read that much, to be honest with you. I'm looking right now, because I don't think, yeah, I feel like, yeah, I haven't. That literally just made me suck my teeth. I just got irritated. I have not, and it irritates me because why would you think that anyone would want to pick up a comic where they're being published like simultaneously in a way that one would impact the other, to the point that if you don't read the other one, this one won't make sense? Why would you do that? This has got to be like the stupidest publishing move that I have ever seen. Like, don't do that. Now, I have seen things where like something could be happening through the lens of, like, I don't know, like I'm reading Catwoman, and the same events that happen in Catwoman have also happened in Batman, but I'm seeing it from a different angle. That's a different story, but you're literally making this story dependent upon another story, where if you haven't read it, this makes no sense, and this is a standalone. This is supposed to be a standalone. This is not serialized. Why would you do that? Why would you make a move like that? That to me makes absolutely no sense. And so I went and I started looking at reviews, because that's what I do, because it's me as a person, like, screw spoilers at this point. It makes this feel disjointed, and now I'm so irritated because already there's some parts of it where I'm like, I don't think I have clarity on what exactly is going on. It makes me feel like I want to DNF the whole thing at this point, because I'm like, well, it's not like I'm going to understand what's going on. And I'm like, dang, how do you start so strong with issue 1? And this is what I hate sometimes about comics and the fact that they're serialized, is that we get to a point where it's like, okay, you know, issue 1 and 2 are strong, and then we get to 3, 4, 5, and 6, and it's like, what happened from point A to point B that this work no longer holds up? So, I mean, honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and finish it, because it's not that long, and it was on my October 5x5x5, and I'm just gonna go ahead and finish it, because it's genuinely not that long. Most of the back of this is variant covers. yeah, it's like, that's all that's left. That's not a lot. And so I'll finish it, but I just know, like, I'm gonna be irritated. I'm gonna be irritated by this. That sucks. So that's it, y'all, for this one. So it's good. Listen, I'm just as surprised as you are that I am genuinely sticking to what I said I was gonna stick to in terms of my 5x5x5. I think that in this upcoming week, I'm going to try to knock out a little bit more of the manga and definitely the graphic novels, because I haven't touched the graphic novels, and I actually have 2. I think Mish the Bad Demon was on my 5. I can't remember. I'm gonna go back. I think this was on my 5, but I can't remember. But I know that this was. So I'm gonna start some of these graphic novels to go ahead and knock those out. And we're gonna see if, you know, in the next, 9 days, if I can go ahead and just finish up my October TBR. It would make me feel so good if, you know, I at least got 80% of my October TBR, which would, it's kind of like a self-gratification thing, because it's like, oh, actually, you know what? I can stick to a TBR. I want to prove myself wrong, because I always feel like I can't, but because I've been doing such a good job, it's making me feel like, oh girl, like, you can do this. You can get this done. I think the last comic, one of the other comics that I have to read that I don't have on here is Something is Killing Children Volume 5, I believe, is on the docket. And there's another one that is not clicking in my head right now, but I will go back and watch my own video, because whatever paper I wrote it down on is gone. It's in the trash can. I probably was throwing stuff out that my kid had laying around the house, and I threw away my stuff too. Not surprised. But alright, y'all. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content from me, click the subscribe button. Hit the bell for notifications if you're interested in following me on social media and all that jazz. Yeah. All the links will be down in the description box below. I don't know why I paused there. Alright, y'all. It's the head hurting and all this jazz and all this stuff. Alright, I'll be back with another video soon. Bye.